my thesis or whatever is this, that you can extend that conscious field around your body and you can push it anywhere you want and you can get to what somebody's problem is. And that is what a lot of healers do. They go to a place that the person themselves cannot go to. And it's usually some pain, some trauma about something that happened to them. And they're wounded by that, psychically wounded. And it's usually all woundedness really is passed on, really, most of the time. And that woundedness usually centers around self-worth and acceptance. So if somebody's made you feel crap or has hurt you or has made you feel insignificant or inadequate, that makes people unhappy. And you can trace really all things back to that in a way. And by meditating and seeing that shamanically in that person, you can actually heal them from a distance, and you can put your energy in that space and say, I see you and I see your sacred journey, and I, as another human being, completely empathize with your pain, and it's totally okay. It's totally okay because you are growing and learning and exploring and moving forward, even though right now maybe only a very limited amount of stuff. I can communicate with your higher self and say, I see you and I respect you and I empathize with you. And you can even take some of that weight off them if you so wish, but one has to be very careful doing that because you get ill yourself then.
I was just
But
about to mention
yeah, you
so.
have to be very
Yeah.
careful. But it's sometimes, as a compassionate human being, sometimes spontaneously one is driven to do that. And I believe it's happened to me a few times in reverse that somebody's seen me, particularly as a younger man, and has done that to me. And it's just something we do for our tribe. We do it for each other without any exchange of anything required. It's just something we do because we care about each other, which is an old-fashioned thing to say, but it's coming back into fashion.
Yeah. There was one time that I was practicing with that, and I was on the train, and this was years ago, like 10 years ago, and I was trying to feel what they were feeling, and I was going from my stomach to theirs. And this woman that I was doing it to, I felt something really wrong, and then when I was kind of done, my stomach was burning. And I realized that I think she had some kind of ulcer or something because my stomach was just burning for about half an hour. I never did it again.
Wow,
So
yeah.
it kind of scared me. I said, okay, I'm not doing that anymore.
Well, if you speak to like psychically attuned people about this, they'll say, well, you have to shield yourself when you do that. So you have to set
Right.
up a one-way energy transfer where you can say, I'm not going to bring anything in that will harm me, because if I'm harmed, nobody's benefiting from this exchange whatsoever. But a sadness, when it is seen, actually physically changes that sadness. So if you can perceive somebody's sadness, you can share it without carrying any of it. So if it's a physical illness, if they've got a tumor or something like that, that's a completely different area, of course. I appreciate that. But if it's a sadness because they don't feel uh, much self-esteem, they don't have a lot of self-esteem about themselves, you can actually physically change that equation in a person just by seeing it. Like a problem, when you share it with your mate or with your friend,
So it's
uh,
kind of like you being
it
the
lessens.
observer.
Yeah, yeah, you
Right.
observe it and you become psychically, um, connected to them and say, "All right, okay, I can feel your lack of self-esteem, and you know what? It's completely okay because everybody has to map this negativity and this shadow in order to understand it and then begin to move away from it. And it's part of your sacred journey, and you are important, and it's okay." So, just that basic human compassion can have an effect on someone. And every now and again, don't do this all the time, but every now and again, I will see somebody and just feel that that is an appropriate thing to do, and I do it, from a place of good intent and from, a positive, transformative, gentle, appropriate way of behaving. So you don't go throwing that around all over the place, just like a doctor wouldn't suddenly whip out his stethoscope and stick it on you when you're in Macy's or whatever. You know, you don't want to be like a dick.
Right. Right. Oh, jeez. Okay, so, well, Neil, we have burned up this second hour, and have you got a something you would like to leave our listeners with?
Yes, I would like to leave your listeners with this thought. Simply by recognizing your own sovereignty and simply by contemplating your own multidimensional nature, you begin to establish a connection with your higher self. And from that space, you can design your life to be exactly what you want it to be. So it is a very worthwhile endeavor.
Here, here. And your website is neilkramer.com,
Correct.
and you have the
You're
audio
also on
cleaver.
Facebook,
And
correct? Oh, sorry, Tom.
yeah, go ahead, Ramon.
No, I was just saying you're also on Facebook.
Yes, that's right. If you go to neilkramer.com, I think there's like some little icons over on the right hand side at the top. There's like a Twitter and an RSS feed, and there's a Facebook thing on there. So um, obviously the nature of Facebook, it's like I think they call it a page rather than a personal page. It's a page which is about me and my work, but people can post things up there and comment and stuff. And I just keep people informed about other side things that are going on. And like I've just, there's a new book coming out that I have contributed to, and conferences and so on and so forth. So yeah, there's some useful information on there. It isn't a personal Facebook page where I, tell people what I had for dinner last night.
Okay, well, we'd like to get you back on as soon as your book comes out. And
Yeah, cool. I'd love to. Yeah,
yeah, that would be fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed speaking with you.
brilliant. I
You'll,
enjoyed it too. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
yes.
and thank you for being so patient with the microphone and stuff.
Oh, that's all right. These things are sent to test us, aren't they? Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Well, thanks for listening. And oh, geez, we'll keep pumping out the information and try bringing fantastic guests like Neil Kramer onto the shore more often. So, namaste. And condemnation without investigation is the height of ignorance. Love you all.
Have a good night.
That was Christopher of the Wolves playing Bounce. And again, you can find a link to his website where you can pick up his CDs in the info of this audio. And I think I'll also have a link somewhere in the website, so find it if you can.